No matter who you are or what you look like, your DNA is nearly identical to everyone else on the planet. Even Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart share around 99.5% of the same DNA. Your DNA is made up of more than 6 billion bases, represented by the letters A, C, G, and T. On average, your DNA differs between you and another person by 0.5%. That's about 30 million DNA bases. These are what help shape you, your height, your risk for different diseases, and even traits like how adventurous you are. You can learn about how these bases make you unique with a genetic test. But not every genetic test is the same. Most consumer genetic tests use a technology called genotyping that only looks at a small portion of the DNA differences that make you unique, which means they miss a whole lot about you. Nucleus uses a different technology. It's called whole-genome sequencing, and it reads nearly all your DNA. With whole-genome sequencing, you get a more complete picture of how your DNA affects your health, personality, and well-being. More on that in a bit. First, let's dig into the differences in your DNA that make you unique. Scientists call these differences variants, and they can influence almost everything about you. For example, certain variants can make you more or less likely to be tall, have allergies, or to develop type 2 diabetes. Variants come in all kinds of combinations. Some are common and found in many people. Others are very rare. Some can have big effects on their own. Others need to work together to have an effect. To identify these variants, we need to use a genetic test. Other consumer genetic testing companies use genotyping technology, which is really good at identifying a specific type of variant called a common variant. They'll usually give you a report that analyzes a single common variant in your DNA. But that's not very helpful, because a single common variant actually has little effect by itself. But scientists have recently discovered that, collectively, these common variants can influence someone's risk of developing a disease, or even to what degree they express a trait. If you've taken a genotyping test in the past, Nucleus can use this new knowledge to help you make the most of your data. We assess your common variants and generate individual genetic scores that show you what your risks may be for diseases like insomnia, breast cancer, and asthma, and for traits like baldness, adventurousness, and muscle strength. That's helpful, but it's not the best we can do. You see, genotyping only looks at a sliver of your DNA differences, about 700,000 of them, but there are tens of millions of potential locations where your DNA could differ from someone else. To see the whole picture, you need to do whole genome sequencing. Nucleus's whole genome sequencing looks at all of these locations by reading virtually all 6 billion bases in your DNA, a much more complete assessment of the genetics behind your diseases and traits. This means we can identify all variants that are linked to common diseases, like those in different cancers, type 2 diabetes, migraines, and much more. We can also analyze your risk for rare diseases, which could be relevant to you and your family. And it isn't just your health you can learn about. We can also illuminate all the variants that let you dig deeper into your traits like never before, like how well you can tolerate dairy, or even how much sleep you need. These are all insights that genotyping can miss. We're effectively combining every consumer and clinical genetic test that's ever been available into just one. Guided by these new insights and with the expertise of board-certified genetic counselors, you can make personalized decisions that are right for you. Welcome to Nucleus. Rediscover yourself one DNA letter at a time.